Okay, kids. Rebel. This guy. Mask. Boom. It's late in the afternoon. There's nobody else here. Okay? All right? Just keep it on the DL. Oh, all right. So what am I doing? We're doing a video on... I think we're doing a video on. What are we doing? Light. We're doing light. We're starting a new unit on light and optics. So we're going to do a video, a little bit some important factual information you need to know about waves and light in general. Now, you have the wave notes. And those wave notes, muy importante grande, you're supposed to look up that information on your own. Do it. Do it by Friday. You don't have to do it now. Do it now. No, you don't have to. You can do it by Friday. But I'm going to go over some stuff on light. All right? Let there be light. All right. I'm going to use colors that I can't normally use because you can't see them through the camera on my Chromebook. But yeah, you know, it's going to be Halloween this weekend, so orange is the new black. Halloween. Okay, so some things about light are, well, we get into what's called quantum mechanics at the end of this course. So I'm not going to get into some of the really funky kind of things that light does. And it does some funky things. But we should talk about, first of all, just a little history behind it. They were, trying to measure how fast it goes. So the first person who tried to, and recorded anyways, I mean, somebody might have tried in a different way that didn't record it, was Galileo. Galileo, very sciencey guy. He said, all right, I want to measure how fast light goes. Galileo, we all know him. We all know that he's also a paladin, a prot pally on the Drendon realm for Mr. Gunner. Yeah, he's one of my, I named him Galileo. He's awesome. Awesome. Kicks butt. But Galileo, the scientist, tried to determine the speed of light. And what he did is he said, okay, all right. They knew the speed of sound. That wasn't too difficult. I mean, still, it sounds fast, but you can measure it relatively easily. So he said, all right, let's try this. I'm going to take a lantern. And he went to assistant person. He said, assistant person, you take a lantern. Oh, okay. And you go on hill yonder kilometers away. Oh, okay. I mean, they didn't have kilometers back then, but they didn't talk about it. The certain distance that they measured. And it's a long distance. And he said to assistant person, what I'm going to do, Mr. Galileo here, is going to take my lantern. I'm going to open up a flap on the lantern, allow light to boop, go out. When you see that on yonder hill, you then go, oh, okay, and you open up the flap on your lantern, then I'll see it come back to me, and we'll time it. Right? You get the time, you got the distance, piece of cake. Because we all know that velocity is distance over time. Tried it. Galileo just went, no. Right? It's just, the time is just like, too bad. You can't click your fingers fast enough for how quick that would be. And so Galileo was not able to pull it off. But he said, and because Galileo was from Long Island, he said it's wicked pissa fast. Okay, that's what he said, wicked pissa fast. It's a Long Island thing. So he wasn't able to determine how fast it was, but he just said it's wicked pissa fast. All right, then along comes an astronomer, Danish astronomer. He was Danish. I think it was cherry. Might have been raspberry. Oh, I like raspberry. Raspberry Danish. You're funny. And Romer was able to get relatively close to the actual retail price without going over. No, that's Price is Right, sorry. To the actual value for the speed of light. And what he was doing, he was an astronomer, he was looking at Io, it's off to work I go. Io. Oh, I'm having fun. Io, moon of Jupiter. He was watching the moon of Jupiter and its transition around the planet. It took, I don't know how many hours, it's like 40-something hours. That's irrelevant. But the point is, he noticed that while he was watching this happen over a series of weeks and weeks and weeks, that the time that it took for it to go around Jupiter changed a little bit. And so he went, I'm a smarty pants. And he said, maybe the reason for that is because the position of the Earth keeps changing. And of course, at times, the Earth would be closer or farther away from Jupiter. And maybe that has something to do with the timing of Io as it went around. And he was right, he was correct. And from that, he was able to calculate a value, because of the time difference, of how fast, and they knew how far Jupiter is. They were smart people back then, people. They were smart. They did geometry and figured things out. And so he determined that the speed of light, in his calculation, was 146,000 miles, you ready for this? Per second. Okay, light don't play. Light ain't playing. Okay, super serial. Now that's not right, but it's not bad. The true value, the actual retail price without going over, for light in miles per second is 186,000, it's like 262, but we'll just round it, 186,000 miles per second. So that's not bad. That's not a bad percent error. I mean, if that was you in a lab, and you got that, and it was supposed to be that, you'd be going, yay, okay? So don't be mocking Romer. It's pretty good. The first relatively accurate measurement of the speed of light. Okay, so this is the actual value, and who was the first to determine this, like getting really close to that? That occurred in the late 1800s to early 1900s, late 19th, early 20th century. A man by the name of Michelson. And he went to the mountains of California. He was actually a professor, and he was born in Austria. Austria, Germany, those are the smart physics people. Okay, and he came to America. And he was a professor at the University of Chicago, and he decided he had a way of calculating this, and it took a long time to do this. He went to California, he set up some rotating mirrors. Actually, if you have nothing else to do on a Friday night, you can actually read about it. It's quite brilliant the way he did this. Rotating mirror system of two mountains that are about 35 kilometers away. That's about 28 miles or something like that. So a good distance, a decent distance. And was able to time these rotating mirrors and time blah, 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 blah. He was able to determine very close to 0.02% of the accepted value for the speed of light. It took him over 10 years to do this. Would you spend 10 years of your life trying to do one thing? Probably not. But back then they had nothing to do. You know, they had no computers and no cell phones. No, call me. Right? None of that. So you had nothing else to do. But came out with very, very close to the accepted value. So he was the first person to come up with an accurate value of the speed of light. Nowadays, actually, you can get the speed of light by using reflecting mirrors that were left on the moon, the different moon sites. You know, it was all hoax, so these are just fake mirrors. These mirrors were left behind at every one of the Apollo mission sites, and you can use a laser and point that at that and get a reflection. And it takes about 2.5 seconds for a round trip to the moon and back. And knowing the distance to the moon, you can accurately calculate the speed of light. Okay, so that now comes out to be, now we're not going to use miles per second, although 186,000 miles per second is fast. That's like Speedy Gonzales on steroids fast. You know Speedy Gonzales? He's a little mouse, Looney Tunes, little Mexican hat on. Okay, that's how fast light is. If you were moving at the speed of light, you could go around the planet. We're going to time you for 1 second. Ready, set, go. Move the speed of light, go. 1 second. You would have gone around the planet 1.5 times. You'd be in Australia, lying on the beach right now, after going around the world 7 minutes. And 1 second. Okay, speed of light, don't play. It's fast. Now in physics, we got to use meters per second. 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. That's a constant, so it would be on your constant handout sheet thing. So you don't have to memorize it, but I hope you would. It's not a difficult number to memorize. So that many meters per second. Now that's a lot of meters per second. I mean, with that many meters per second, even I could get a date. That many meter per second, I could even get a date. Okay, move on. I thought it was funny. Okay, and the wife not, and I appreciate it, but actually she probably would. She'd probably say, please, go. But get away from me. All right, so that's the history behind the speed of light. I thought it was interesting, kind of nifty, cool, to give you a little background on it. Oh, by the way, Michelson, for his troubles, won a Nobel Prize. He won like the 5th or 6th Nobel Prize. I think it was like 1906. First Nobel Prize was given in 1901 in physics, and 1906, I think, is when he won his Nobel Prize. And he did it for using what's called an interferometer. I can speak. An interferometer, and that's the instrument that he used to rotate the mirrors to calculate the speed of light. And he was actually still in the process of finalizing when he won that Nobel Prize. So, all right, you determine the speed of light, you win Nobel Prize. Not a bad deal, not a bad deal. Okay, all right, now, a little history on the speed of light as we move into light. I'm going to stop this video now because I don't want these videos to be too long, and this one's almost 11 minutes already, and you're probably all drooling right now going, drool come out. So wake up, wake up!